Welcome to Next to Madison, a podcast to help you live your best life. Welcome back to another episode of Next to Madison. I'm your host, Madison Malloy, and on today's episode, I am sitting down with the hilarious comedian Paul Virzi, who's here to talk about his comedy specials, his growth in comedy, all things authentic to what you can do, what you can't do, a little bit of cancel culture, how he's offended people in the past, and so much more. So you're not going to want to miss this episode. We'll be right back after this break on Next to Madison. Hi, it's your host, Madison Malloy. For those of you who don't know, I've written and created a powerful collection of books to help you build confidence, shift your mindset, and attract the life you truly want. From Time to Lighten the F Up, to Affirm and Flourish, Color Your Way to Abundance, and more. These aren't just books, they're tools for transformation. Grab a copy now on Amazon or at madisonmalloy.com. Now back to the show. All right, we are back with our amazing and hilarious guest. We've got in studio Paul Virzi, actor, amazing podcast host, and amazing just stand-up dude. I've known you a while, and you're just a great dude. So welcome to the show.
Oh, I thought you were going to say come out. I was like, I'm a comedian, too.
Yeah. No, I got that part first, but you're an all-around. I think it's more important to be a great dude.
I appreciate that. I always take great dude over anything.
Yeah.
You know, I'll always, I love, it's good to be good at what you do, but you want to be a good dude.
Yeah.
So life's too short. You come across too many assholes, I guess. So
I'm a single woman in New York City. Hello.
Yeah, you get it. Yeah.
When you meet a nice guy, you're like, okay, I like this.
Yeah.
But no, you and I met when I was heavy into comedy and doing the whole comedy thing. And you've been on the podcast before.
Yes. Yep.
During COVID.
Yep. And you were on my other podcast, The Virzi Effect, when you had your book out.
Yep.
I'm trying to think when I met you. Did I meet you at Gotham?
It was years ago.
It might have been at Gotham, or it might have been one of the comedy clubs. It was one of the comedy clubs, yeah.
Because were you affiliated with Peter Billingsley somehow through Bill Burr?
No.
Okay, so it wasn't that.
No, it wasn't Peter Billingsley.
Yeah, because he ended up marrying one of my best friends.
I remember I met you. It might have been were you ever at Comics, when Comics was there?
Yeah.
So maybe.
It's like where it started.
I might have met you at Comics, or I met you at Gotham, and I remember we were talking about Peter Billingsley.
Yeah.
Because I had met him recently, I was at a party, and then you told me that he married your friend.
He did, yeah. They're still happily married.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you're still friends with her.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in Idaho. They escaped the whole California.
It's funny you say that. My younger brother is in Idaho.
I mean, a lot of Hollywood people went there.
Yeah, he went to my younger brother just went to Sandpoint, Idaho during pandemic. He was like, you know what? I'm not doing anything. I could get a job, and now fast forward a few years, he's got 2 kids, married.
Oh my
gosh. He packed a bag for 2 weeks. And he was like,
that.
I think I'm going to get a job, and now he's married with 2 kids, and he's doing great out there. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Idaho's cool, man.
Well, sometimes I feel like when you're getting pulled to go somewhere, like I always thought it was New York City or nothing. Yeah. And then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And that changed everything.
Yeah. I think that happened for a lot of comics. And it's like pandemic showed you so much. Like the one great thing that happened with the pandemic. And listen, a lot of bad happened, of course.
Yeah.
But one thing that happened that I think was kind of a blessing in disguise was it showed people, and it showed comedians especially, like what your priorities were wrong and when it comes to the business. You're on a hamster wheel. Mm-hmm. I got to do this. I got to get in this club. I got to do this spot. I got to go over here. Well, this booker needs to like me. Well, I'm going to leave my family on a fucking Tuesday to get a $25 spot for some booker that's not going to be there in 2 months.
Right.
And it was like the craziest, dumbest shit.
Right.
Right. And then all of a sudden you're like, no, I'm gonna be with my family on Tuesday, and I'm gonna go to the places that want me, appreciate me, pay me the right way. I'm gonna do it how I want to do it. Now, granted, I had a luxury of being in the game long enough where I could do that.
Yes.
So if you're a younger comedian, I get it. Younger comedian, you gotta kind of play that game and run around a little bit. But what it let me know was still work as hard, but just smarter. It let me know, and what it also let people know is to your point, is you don't have to be in New York and LA, which you're kind of brainwashed into thinking. Yes. Where it's like, I think that's the old model. The old model of this is be here or be in LA. Now you can be in North Carolina. You can be in Nashville, Tennessee. You can be in, I have a good friend who's in Vegas. You know, Brian Regan also in Vegas. A lot of these people are all over the country.
Yeah.
Because all you got to do is go to an airport. You know, you could go to an airport, come to New York, stay in New York for a week, do spots all over New York, and guess what? Then you're back at your house in Michigan, and you're fine. So I think that's what it. And look, at the end of the day, the people that want it the most, work the hardest. You know, it's not just the talent, right? It's everything. It's everything. So you got to be hungry, you got to be smart, and you got to put the work in. And if you do that, I don't care if you're on the fucking North Pole.
Yeah, that's true, right?
Yeah.
No, it is. And that's what I love about it, because New York and LA are not, they're very hard to live in. It's expensive. It's filthy. It's not run by the best people, you know? And so now you have an option where it's like, you know, I think I was so narrow-minded in New York City, and then all of a sudden I went out to the rest of the country, and I was like, wow, it's actually pretty affordable to live.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing about living in New York. The whole world feels like it's on sale.
Yeah.
You know what somebody told me when I said I wanted to move to Nashville? I said, yeah, there's no state tax. And they go, yeah, but the sales tax is really high. And I go, really? Really? Because we have state and city tax, and we still have almost a 9% sales tax. So you tell me how that works. And they're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love how that comment, you just shut that down.
Yeah. It was like high sales tax, my ass. I'm like, do you realize that I went to buy a sandwich the other day and I got a commuter tax on my fucking sandwich? I walked there by foot.
Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's what's happening right now.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. You know, look at your receipt next time you go buy something. There's a commuter tax on it. There's a state tax, a city tax, and a commuter tax. Yep.
What else are they going to tax us on?
Every time you flush your toilet, I feel like that's coming next. I'm not even kidding.
No, it doesn't matter.
I'm not even. It's like
somebody's saying, I'm sorry, I don't know if this is an emergency. The lower, okay. Sorry about that, because I just came from a place and I just had the fear of my wallet. Dude, that's the number one fear.
Wait, let's pick back up. But yeah, the tax.
Sorry. Sorry.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Resume.
Yeah, no, they're taxing everything. And it's like, but the commuter tax is something I don't even look at. I don't even see it, right?
Because you haven't been looking for it.
Right. And they're always like, you want your receipt? I'm like, nah. I'm one of those. I don't carry the receipt. You know, I'll buy something, and they're like, you want the thing? I'm like, nah. Like either, you know.
But you write everything off, right?
Right. Well, yeah.
You just take it off your credit card statement.
Right.
As long as it's under 75, you don't need to keep it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, yes, right. And then sometimes if it's a big purchase, though, I actually will say just email, like, you know, because my email, like if I go if I go buy a pair of $500 sneakers or, you know, something, the place will have my email, and I don't take a physical thing, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, so that's where you'll notice it.
That's where I'll notice it. Yeah.
But it's just crazy. I mean, that's a new thing. I think it just popped up. But yeah, with the sandwich today, I was like, I didn't even commute here. I literally walked on my foot.
Really?
Like, this is bananas. But how do you feel that New York City comedy has changed?
It's a great question. I'm going to say this. I think New York City comedy has changed, but then I think it's shifting back. So I think it was really bad. I think New York City comedy was really bad about, I would say, a year and a half ago, where it was like, I think during the pandemic and, you know, before the election and all that stuff, I feel like, and this is just how I feel from being literally on stage.
Right.
You know, talking to New York crowds, where you would say something and you can feel the, you know, hey, what? You know, I did a joke about how people were like punching Asian people in the face just because of COVID.
Yeah.
And the joke comes, like, I'm making fun of the people that are crazy enough to do that.
Right.
But it came across as though I was like I was like putting light on it. But I was making fun of it. But there were people so stupid and sensitive in the crowd going, yeah, that's real funny. They're not understanding that, like, I'm kind of making fun of the lunacy of it.
Yeah.
So, but that's just a little bit. There would always be tables here or there, like crossed arms and not liking this, not liking that. Where now you get a little of that, But when you get that now from my experiences, they're just maybe a little tighter with it, but the majority of the crowd is in.
Yeah.
And so I think what happens is there's shifts. You also, as a comedian, you have to adjust. And I know a lot of people, and I don't mean that in a way of like submitting. I don't mean that in a way of like, you know, dealing with them and letting them dictate what you do. I don't mean it like that. I mean, you have to adjust to like, okay, like this crowd is like this. Now I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And you know, and so maybe I'll even go harder, but do it in a way that I'm going to get them. What I would love to do is I would love to offend a table and make a table not like me, but then flip it and to where they have no choice but to laugh. So, but that also comes with experience. If you were a young comic who's like a little green, New York, especially a year ago, was different.
Yeah. No, it's true. And it is interesting, like you travel a lot and you're on the road. Like the crowds are very different outside of New York.
Oh, God, yeah.
I feel like they're a little bit, I feel like in the Midwest and the South, they're easier.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. If the joke is really good, New York people are, the weirdest thing about New York is they're smart and fucking idiots at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like they're smart. They really know a good joke, but then they could be offended and like be sensitive about something where you're just like, but it is less now. But then New York will really test a joke. Because if it's tried and true in New York, you know, it's good, but I'm at a good place now where like I'm just saying what I'm saying no matter where. Like I said, I could be on the North Pole, I could be wherever. I'm just gonna be Paul, be me, and do my jokes, and you're either gonna like it and come aboard or you're not. Yeah. That's it. You know, I've been doing this long enough, you know.
I think because that keeps you authentic, and you've earned your place in this world to be like people can't really fuck with you anymore.
Well, I appreciate that. No, it's like I'm working on my 4th special, and I travel all over the country, and it's like, you know, it's funny because all the specials you grow with each special, right? My first special I shot in 2017 for Comedy Central, and that was like to show, hey, I belong here. Yeah. Like I could play with the big boys, right? Then pandemic hit. Then in 2022, my Netflix special hit real hard, and that was like, I'm here.
Yeah.
And then I feel like when I put my own money up for Reasonable Man that I did on my own YouTube and all that, it was like my terms. I'm going to do it like that, and and so now it's like I trust myself.
Yeah.
I trust myself. You know, where it's like I'm just going to do what I do, and if you don't like a joke and you're offended by a joke, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You know, you could get in your car, go home, write whatever. Another thing, I learned I don't look at comments anymore. Comments mean nothing to me. Yeah. Comments mean nothing to me. They used to. Some would sting. Some would be like, you know, somebody would say some shit. And you know what would hurt? When a comment was true. When they would say something negative about you, but it was true. That fucks with you.
Do you remember an example?
Yeah, there would just be like, oh, I'm trying to think of something specific, but there would be something where you would be like, you know, I'm trying to think of the one, somebody said something, and maybe the joke wasn't good enough and they called it out, and I wasn't a good enough comedian at the time, so I was like, wow, that's true. But now I'm just at a place where like, and I don't get many negative anymore.
Yeah.
But when I do, I literally, I don't look at it, I don't care. You know, I'll ask my team and my producer to be like, when they're going through the YouTube thing, they'll be like, no, comments are really, you know, kind of good. And sometimes they'll be bad. Sometimes there'll be people that'll be like, oh, Paul was never funny, he never will be. And meanwhile, it's like I'm coming off the road where like, you know, you're killing and but it's like that. Louis C.K. told me something once great. He goes, it's none of your business. And it's true. It's like after my Comedy Central special came out, it was like the first time people started to pay attention to me in this world, and there would be like 5 to 10% negative, and everything else would be positive.
Yeah.
And Louis C.K. goes, "What do you care?" He goes, "It's none of your business what they say," and it's true. You know, when I did my first special, I made fun of Trump, and I made fun of Trump tweeting. And I did the joke about if he was in heaven, he'd be tweeting in heaven, right? Yeah. So the special did good, and they go, yeah, he's funny, but he's this left Democrat, right? Then on my next special, I made fun of Biden. Yeah. And they were like, oh, he's a right-wing, whatever. And then on my third special, I make fun of, so it's like, I'm making fun of everybody.
Yeah.
So you need to understand, once you know me, it's like, I'm going to make fun of you on the left, I'm going to make fun of you on the right. I'm doing comedy.
Right.
And whatever you have a problem with, you have a problem with.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it's very true. But yeah, it is different. Do you feel that comedy is more, if you like, Jeff Dye, the LA comic who's moving to, Austin, he's gotten a lot of shit recently because he fully came out as more on the right, and he's moving to Austin, and I kind of thought we were past that bullshit, but I guess it's still very rampant in Hollywood.
Oh yeah. Like, I think listen, Hollywood is like any side you're going to take. I mean, there's one side that you really, in Hollywood, I don't think you can take if, some people, the thing about me is people get mad at me because, like, I can make fun of, like, people get mad. They're like, wait, but I thought you were this way. And then other people will go, yeah, but why would you say that? And I'm going like, I have my value. First of all, my values and my how I raise my family and my political views is my business, my family's business.
Amen.
And I'm going to deal with that accordingly, how I feel. I think when you can talk to, I have dear friends on both sides.
Yeah.
And both sides, I have dear friends that are really smart on both sides. Mm-hmm. So not all of them are fucked up and crazy. Some of them are. Some of them I can't talk to.
Right.
I got friends on the far right you can't talk to.
Yeah.
And then I got friends on the far left you can't talk to. So I'm like, okay, but I'm just gonna make fun of everybody, and I have my views and values, but I never wanted this business to be where I'm gonna go out and choose. Yeah. And you know what? Maybe that hurts me. Maybe it hurts me. I could go on. I've been asked to go on a lot of news channels. I've been asked to go and do that. I've been asked to go on podcasts. But now what am I doing? Now all of a sudden I'm just like, I didn't get in stand-up comedy to be a political pundit.
Yeah, right.
I didn't get in stand-up comedy to be a political pundit. I may have my opinions and views. I'll make fun of things. Listen, I did an abortion joke on my last special. Yeah. And, a lot of people didn't like it, and that's fine. But it's a joke. And I would do that against the left or the right. Right. Whatever topic whatever it needs, that joke needs. I don't care what it is. But I don't want to, and listen, if Jeff Dye does that, like, I know Jeff Dye, good for him. Like, good for everybody that comes out and does what they want to do. I choose to just go out there and make everything about the jokes and the stories I tell, and hopefully I can make sense with it.
So if Gutfeld called tomorrow, you would say no?
Gutfeld has called.
Oh, okay. Well, when you say no, be like, I got a girl for you.
No, it's not. It's not even that. Like, people have said, oh, do you want? My thing is, and I've like, I don't want to be the. And I know Greg Gutfeld. He's a nice guy. Yeah. He's super smart and funny. But I don't want to be the, like, listen, I'm not saying I wouldn't go on the show, but I wouldn't be like always going on and always be a regular. But that's not against, if CNN called or MSN and was like, hey, we really liked your bit on the special, would you come on and do it? It's like, then I become that dude. And I'm not trying to be that dude. Yeah. I don't want to be that dude.
Right. So, but it's good that you're in a point now, because I think, like, a lot of people are just like, I'll take any media I can get. Right. But sometimes that seems great for that time, but down the road, it might not be kind of, I'm hoping we have a world where it doesn't matter what you like and we're all back to kind of normal.
I don't think that. I think politically we're far from that. How divided it is.
Shit, really?
I think right now, yeah.
I thought we were coming closer together.
I think even though it's coming somewhat closer together, I don't know as far as say whatever. Hopefully, yeah. And I don't want to sound negative. Maybe that could be the case. I hope so. I just feel like it's so, I think it's so divided right now. But one thing I learned is I'm never going to do something I'm uncomfortable doing or truly don't 100% want to do because of media and because of things. I will tell you this right now. There are things that I could have done that my social media following would be big. There are people that tell me all the time, how do you not have 1 million followers and this and that? It's because I choose to, I'm not I'm just not that dude. I'm not a roast battle fucking judge. I'm not doing that. I'm going to do, believe me, when you see me do something, it's because I want to do it. Yeah. It's because I'm comfortable doing it, and I'm doing it in the terms that I want to do it in. And that's it.
Well, yeah, and you also are a family man.
Absolutely.
So you're doing this for everybody,
Exactly. And I also want to do something that my son or daughter can watch and go, oh, dude, my dad was on that thing. He was funny. I'm not going to do some goofy shit or something because, oh, that show gets a ton of views, but I'm not comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
Because if I'm sitting there and somebody's like, oh, so what do you think about, Trump spending this money on a ballroom? It's like, all right, like I'll give you my opinion on that, but what's that gonna, like, what are we doing here?
Right. I mean, so if somebody asked me that question, like, what do you think about, because he bought, everyone's like, he's spending the tax. I was like, no, he did it.
Yeah.
So what do I think about him spending? I think it's just as stupid as a woman going out and spending $70,000 on a Birkin bag. It's just dumb.
It's so funny. And like, the thing is, I think that you have down to earth, logical people, and then you have people that just are so on a team. They're so on a team. Mm-hmm. You know what's funny too is like people don't even find weaknesses in the people that they like, right? Like I could find think about this. I have two children. I'm doing this joke in my act right now where I have two children.
Right.
And people with multiple children, they know which child is they know which child is going to do some shit.
Yeah.
Okay. I know if the principal calls and says one of your kids threw something or did something, I know which kid it is, and I could talk about that in a way where I know that that's what that kid did. We don't even do that with politicians we support. You ever notice that?
Yes.
Right?
True.
Right?
Because I don't think I do it much either.
Check this out. So Mondani, right? This Mondani kid is going to be the new mayor of New York, right? Now, somebody that loves him, try to say something to them like, hey, man, I understand that you like him. He's charismatic, young guy, smiling,
good
whatever,
looking,
not a bad-looking guy, all that stuff. But that idea that he had about this, that's kind of fucked up, right? It's a logical thing. A bus being free could kind of be not a great thing, right? Just say something like that. Yeah. They're going to go, no, you don't understand, right? We don't even do that with our kids, but we do that with fucking strangers we never met who have donors.
Yeah.
You know how crazy that is? These people have donors, right? Yeah. It's like I could tell the people I love the fucking most are my children, right. And I could talk about, hey man, I know, like I don't like talking about any weaknesses, but people that we love, friends. Oh, I know my friend, he has a tendency to do that.
Yeah.
We don't do that with politicians. We do it with people we love. That's how crazy it is. That's why the divide is there.
Well, exactly, because I think if you said something about like one of your kids, like one of your weaknesses, people don't care. But like it's so divided that people are looking for a reason to come at you. And that's their, so it's almost like we have this protected dumbass class.
Yeah.
And it's the politicians.
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
Yeah. You know who somebody you could talk to? Somebody you could talk to is somebody that goes, yeah, I didn't want to vote for that person, but I did because this, and this. That's somebody that's somebody that like, well, I usually don't vote for anybody. The example I'm using is, because I don't like the lesser of two evils, but the example I'm trying to use is they know that like it's not great, but they made a decision. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
They were like, hey, I was kind of on the fence, but this is the reason I went with this person because this person. That's somebody that is actually willing to talk as opposed to, it's got to be this person. It's got to be this person. What are you talking? What are you, crazy? It's got to be this person. No. That person's brain. That person is what? Talk about watching news. That person's that person's watching news.
I know.
It's got to be. What are you, nuts? What are you? And it happens with older people. Like, everybody in this studio's parents, right? They watch either CNN, they watch Fox, they watch something. They're locked in. Yeah. They're not gonna, they're not gonna change.
It's so
true. We all know somebody that's married to somebody that is so one way that they're like, hey man, when you come over, don't talk about.
See, I don't know how a relationship or marriage would work if it was two political parties. Like, I don't think I could marry somebody that was
opposite of you.
Yes, I couldn't.
Now it's hard. Back then you could. My grandmother came here from Sicily when she was 10 years old, didn't speak a lick of English. Okay. My grandfather was from Palermo. They're both from Sicily. My grandfather went to war, both 100% Sicilian.
Yeah.
Okay. My grandfather was a staunch Republican. My grandmother was a Democrat that thought people needed help, and she was softer on. She was on that side, and they lived together for But that was also the 60s, 70s, 80s. It was easier.
Different classes then. Different values. Now, for sure.
Now it's like, there's so many things people have to argue about now. Now there's gender. Right, that's a different thing. People got to argue with. Abortion was always there, but now it's such a there's no discussion anymore. So they asked Johnny Carson something. They were like, because they were talking about how people in show business talk politics.
Yeah.
And they were like, Johnny, how come you don't? Johnny Carson. And by the way, this is Johnny Carson when Johnny Carson was. You were
like the 80s.
You were a comedian. If you were a comedian and when you went on Johnny Carson in 1983.
Yeah.
The next day, you were him. If you went on Johnny Carson in 1983 and you did a 5-minute spot and he said, "Great job, sit on the couch," you were Chris Rock. You were the next day.
Right.
The next day, you were they started talking about movies. You became a star. You got a sitcom and all that stuff. And that's how big Johnny Carson was. The biggest. Every household. And they asked him, and he's a guy from what, Oklahoma, Nebraska, one of those places. And they asked Johnny Carson. They were like, "How come you don't talk politics?" And he goes, "Because if I do that, it's dangerous. And why would I do that? Why would I come on here?" He goes, "My job is to take you away from that and make you laugh." And now you could, like, again, I go on stage and I say, I have a transgender joke. I have an abortion joke. I'm making fun and that's it. And I think everybody can look at it and laugh and go, "That was hilarious."
Yeah.
You know, I was in Atlanta, Georgia. Somebody came up to me and they go, "Hey man, I'm a very left liberal. And when you went into that joke, I was like, whoa, where's he going to go? But you really did. You told the line good." Same show, another audience member came up to me in a meet and greet. "Hey, man, I'm a Republican. And when you went into that, I was like, whoa, boy, but you walked the line good." It's like, then I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
I don't say that to pat myself on the back. I said because that's how I want my comedy to be.
Right, exactly. Like it's a joke where it's like you're kind of appealing to both parties.
Yeah.
And you're kind of being the Johnny Carson of stand-up in a way.
It's just like, yeah, I have my belief. I'm going to raise my kids a certain way. And that's it. But that's I don't need to go out and talk about that.
So why do we think that our late night show hosts today got so far off that path? If what Johnny did worked and it was proven, why the hell did Fallon, Colbert, all them go off the deep end? Because it's not working.
Well, I think that Johnny Carson was the only real one. So I think it was just him. So I think his power was, more. And I really don't know what motivates people. I think people, are adamant about things. I think some people feel like their cause is right. Some people think, you know what, I don't like that. I don't care. I'm going out to talk to a lot of people about it. They feel that way, And if people are going to let them, I'm no one to tell them not to, but it's just, I love the way of just like why I always just go back to why I got into the business.
Yeah.
And I never got into the business to go, man, I'm going to change everybody's mind about what they feel.
Right, exactly.
Politically.
So you're a funny comedian. Do you suffer from stuff that most of us comedians suffer from, depression and anxiety?
Yeah, anxiety, OCD, post-traumatic. I'm in therapy, post-traumatic stress from childhood. Yes, all that.
All that? Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think that's what really kind of led to opening this door in the first place?
Probably. I think so. I think that there was a lot of unsafeness in my childhood, and being out with my friends and making them laugh and being able to connect with that gave me kind of what I needed, which was even trust at the time. So I think so.
Yeah. So PTSD from childhood.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm doing therapy called EMDR. You know what that is?
No.
So EMDR is basically who was it? It was like rapper Soulja Boy or somebody else was on the Breakfast Club talking about it. There's been Giannis Papas talked about it on Rogan too. It's basically there's a beginning, middle, and end of it. And what they do is they take you back. They take your memory back to that moment, and they basically put it in the memory part of your brain that it's supposed to be in.
Okay.
So. Because of the anxiety part of my brain, which is called the medulla, something like that. I forgot the name of it, but that's where like mine was overused way too much and my memories are in the wrong place. What this does is it takes it out of that memory and puts it where it's supposed to be. It's basically like if it's a library and books are in the wrong place, it takes the book and it puts it there. They do it through eye movement with light, and they also do it through buzzers in your hand, and it talks to you that place and it takes you there, and it resets your nervous system. So things that made you feel scared, traumatized, and really fucked up young, it kind of brings you there, and then but it makes it easier, and it brings you back to a better place with it, and it resets everything and puts it in the brain of somebody that didn't have that. It's kind of like a soldier PTSD.
So, and you feel a big difference?
I just started it, so I'm in the middle of it. So I have phases to go.
Yeah.
But it's nice to talk to somebody. Like I'm very open about mental health stuff.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'll talk about on stage. I'll go on a show about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll talk about I'll talk about people that are having bad feelings and shit like that, and people that go through mental stuff and depression, and that I can talk about because I go through it and I know it, you know. So
well, it's for a long time it had such a stigma. I remember when I was feeling like depressed, I was like, I couldn't call it that because I didn't want to associate, you know. And then it was a thing of, how can I be depressed? I have, you know, a great family. I've got everything going for me. Like, nobody's gonna feel bad for me. And I wasn't looking for somebody to feel bad, but like, you were just like, I don't belong in this, so you just shove it down.
Yeah.
And then you would suffer.
Yeah.
And suffer because you didn't want that stigma. Now I feel like now the stigma's gone.
Well, the stigma was definitely for men more too, because it was for a man, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful here, but like when men say they're going to therapy, it's different. It was.
Well, back then they'd call it gay.
Back then, what are you, a bitch?
Yeah, that's true. Talk about your fucking feelings, bro.
Fuck yeah, exactly. Yeah, my dad smacked the shit out of me. Grow, stop being a bitch.
Exactly.
And but it like it's more than that. And like I don't know if you're familiar with the UFC, but when that UFC fighter Paddy Pimblett, he won.
Yeah.
When he talked at the end, he's like, my friend a couple days ago took his life.
Shit.
And he's like, and there's a stigma out there that men, because men don't want to talk about it, men don't want to, but like there's dark places. Soldiers go through. You know how many people are killing themselves? So I think the suicide rate, and soldiers are coming home killing themselves because of the shit they saw, the shit they had to do.
Yeah.
So I'd rather talk about that, because if I go on a show and talk about that, I'm helping somebody. If I go on a show and talk about fucking Trump's tariffs, I'm not helping anybody.
Right.
So who am I helping?
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Just keep the cost of medication down, right? So we can get these
Yeah,
meds.
like talk about that. Talk about talk about like going to see people and talking to people and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think like everybody has some sort of, shit that they go through, and we're not all perfect. Like this is why like a lot of people call this soul school, because we're meant to, just like our souls are meant to learn and evolve and not be perfect. And like, are you a big godly person?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So how do you use God in your like everyday kind of life to guide you?
I believe in God. I talk to God. I really feel like some people don't. I do.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
And I just try to live like that as much as I can. Of course you're going to sin and you're not always going to be perfect, but yeah, I try to raise my kids and do that the best way I can. Just let them know to when you do things like that, things, you get what you put in, but it's the same thing with God's stuff too, I think. Yeah.
No, and there's a big rise now in people going back to church.
Yeah.
So there's a huge and Christian music is on the rise.
Yeah.
There's like more. So I think people are starting to wake up more towards like, this life is very short and there's a lot of evil and you're going to pay the price at the end.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people where I know that like this is just temporary and like heaven's home.
Yep.
So you got to do everything you can to like get there. Mm-hmm. But I always love talking about like making sure people know that mortality and morality are like right on the forefront of your mind, because you want to make sure you're a good person, but also I think that life's more enjoyable when you do realize that death's right around the corner, meaning that like you're not going to take yourself so seriously.
No, and
like there was a video that said like I only have like maybe 30 to 40% of my life left at my age, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And it had like the exact weekends and the holidays, and like you saw it in that perspective, and you're like, I'm not worried about shit going forward.
No.
Like you just got to live. But that's the faith mentality, I think, gives you more of that base.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think, you said it best. It's like live like you're going to die.
Yeah.
You're gonna. So just,
That's true. That's the one thing that's guaranteed is like death and taxes, right?
Yeah,
so it's like,
just
shit.
Yeah. Don't be afraid, or don't like. My buddy got a nice bottle of wine. Yeah. And he got the wine, and he said to his dad, who gave him the wine, my opener Tyler, he opens for me all over the country and stuff. Mm-hmm. So Tyler Horvath, super funny dude, and his dad is like a one of those wine. The hell's the word?
Collectors?
No,
connoisseurs?
but it's
like at a restaurant?
Yeah, but he like works at a market that has them, so he tests and all that. There's a name for it. But
yeah,
anyway,
I forget what it. Yeah, I know what you're
talking
about.
You know what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like yeah.
So he gives something. God, I forget. It's a name, whatever, French name. But so anyway, he he gives Tyler a bottle of wine, and Tyler goes, "Oh man, I'm gonna save this for a good occasion."
Yeah.
And he goes, "No." He goes, "The occasion's now. Go home and open it tonight. Go open it tonight for dinner with who you're with." This occasion shit.
Yeah.
This I'm gonna save it for a no.
No, I like that, because people sometimes will be like, they won't pull out their best dishes, they won't pull out their best outfits. But I used to have this joke where I thought it was really funny. It was like, you know how somebody feels about you in their life when you go to their house for dinner and they pull out the good china or they pull out the shit.
Right.
Like, you know exactly what they think of you.
Yeah. What they're pouring in your glass and all that.
Exactly.
You know, which wine, you getting the bullshit or you getting the... I'll take it a step further. Like, I told my wife, I was like, my kids can... This whole mentality of, well, it's a school night. Fuck that. I'm serious.
I like. Okay.
Fuck that.
Okay.
We're going out to a restaurant on a Monday, Tuesday. Think in the same mentality it's a Saturday. And if my kids' homework's done and the room is clean and they want to have a sleepover, they can. What the fuck does it matter? What are we doing here?
Oh.
That mindset of even that. I mean, this is gonna upset a lot of people. School to me, regular school. I heard Damien Dash say. You know what Damien Dash is?
Yeah.
He said something as, it's like, I get that you need structure. And I get that going to school and giving you some sort of structure and learning and doing that. But there is part of it that is just setting you up to be an employee. You go to school, you're told you have 1 hour for lunch, or not even. Here's a hall pass. You got to go like this to go to the bathroom. You got to go like this to go to the bathroom. Think about the mentality of that. Where your body, you have to relieve yourself. You got to go like this and go, "Excuse me, can I go to the bathroom?" To me, that's fucked up. That's an institutional. Now, I get it. I get it. Like, I'm not trying to be like, well, Paul, what do you think? School can definitely help. I've had a couple of good teachers that affected me.
Yeah.
So I understand. But the idea of come here at this time, be in this room, don't talk, do this, go to the bathroom here, get on a bus, go home, and doing it again, it's good, but there needs to be, that's why in my house, it's like, if one of my kids said, "Dad, I want to be an entrepreneur and I don't want to go to college for the first couple of years," me and my wife would get into a fight because I would say, okay, like if one of my kids truly said,
"Yeah,
I don't know what I want to be, I have some ideas, I want to do this, me and my buddy have an idea to open a business, just give me a couple years, and then if it doesn't work, I'll go to school." And I'll go. I would be like, fine.
Genius.
If my wife was like, "Well, I want them to have the experience," I get that too. I get the being away, going, being friends, being independent. I get all that. College, I almost feel, is better than. I feel like high school should kind of be more like college, where it's like, if you go, you go. If you make it, you make it. You got to pay. You almost fucking pay. But, private schools, you do, right? But, like, this whole thing of, like, it's a school night. You can't do that. You're going to be tired. I want you in bed by then. It's kind of like, I get it. But, like, they also need to know that, too. Like, tell you hey, you're going to be tired, and it's going to be fucked up tomorrow if you do this. And kind of let them learn. But my family will go out. We will go out to a dinner on a Monday, Tuesday night like it's a Saturday. And if they have all their shit together and a friend wants to sleep over, I'm fine with it. It's usually the other parents. It's usually the other parents are like, "I don't know, it's a Wednesday."
Yeah.
But I'm just like, But my wife says I'm too, I'm too easy like that.
Yeah.
Where she's like, no, like she, but I feel like that sets you up to be like to fall in line.
Well, that's what the education system really, it was hijacked years ago, and that's what it was, is to make people employees. But when you started comedy, your family was probably like, "What the fuck are you doing with your life? Go get a job, go do something." They're like, but what I found, and from people that I know who've had jobs, I think having a job, a traditional job, a corporate job, is the riskiest thing you can fucking do. I think it is less risky to follow your dreams and start a business, because you could bust your ass, do everything, fall in line completely, and somebody could decide one day they just don't like you anymore. And your whole world is uprooted.
Well,
that's why I say follow your passion always.
Yeah, it's that story that Jim Carrey said about his dad,
Yep.
His dad wanted to be a comedian, and he said his dad would have been a good comedian. And he's like, but he kept his accountant job, and he wanted to just make sure that the stability, and then that same job fired him. So it's like, it's like, it's, but look, you learn, right? You learn. Like, my kids hopefully will learn from me. Mm-hmm. I've been, I've been doing this a long time. Knock on wood, it's going great, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So, but you got to be able to teach your kids the things that you have. And if they want to go to school, with me, it's like, hey, whatever makes you happy, man.
Yeah. No, I like that. I think that's the best, because it's like, you know what? I feel like we do what society tells us to, and then we wonder why we're so fucking unhappy.
Right.
Because we're never listening to our authentic selves.
Yeah.
And like really doing what makes like our hearts and passions,
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. But let's talk about your relationship with Bill Burr and Pete Davidson, because they've been very involved in your career, and they still are.
Well, Bill Burr took me under his wing in about 2007.
Yeah.
He saw a liking to me. I think he saw, he said I reminded him of a young him.
Oh.
We kind of came up the same way in New York. He's a Boston guy. I'm a New York guy, but we came up the same way in New York.
Yeah.
Then I opened for him on and off for a while. We would do runs together, and he just inspiring me, and always never giving me false praise.
Yeah.
He would be like, good job. And then I knew what good job meant. Good job didn't mean you're funny and you're killing right now. Good job meant you did the job of your position tonight well. Yeah. But then 2 years later, it would be like, dude, that joke you're doing is killer. Then a year after that, hey, man, what you're doing right now on stage is a beautiful thing to watch. Aww. Then, oh, my God, you're a top headliner. Then, oh, we're not going to be working together anymore. So it was just like the whole evolution of that. And then Pete Davidson is one of my dearest friends to this day. I see Pete all the time. Pete and I are going to be doing something we're going to make an announcement on soon, which I'm excited about.
Nice.
And, Pete actually was the first guest on the new podcast.
Okay, nice.
And Pete put me in his... Pete, man, Pete's one of those dudes where he was like, I want you for this part. And then, all of a sudden I got a phone call after they cast it. I was like, I didn't hear nothing. It's all good. And then I was in the season finale of Bupkis.
Okay, nice.
I was in the season finale of Bupkis, episode 8.
Okay.
And then, when he did King of Staten Island, I was playing his dad, I played his dad, and that part, it was such a heavy part that they cut it. But,
wow, okay.
So, but that was Judd Apatow. That was crazy. But Pete and I are, such dear friends. The other day, he's like, dude, you want to jump on my show as a guest? So, but yeah, so I keep a very small circle.
Yeah.
Those two are for sure 2 of the 5 that I keep.
Yeah.
I don't have many. I'm kind of into just being home and being with my family.
I think that's smart.
Yeah. And, but no, those are 2 dear friends that I had in the business. Bill going on 20 years friends, Pete 15.
Yeah.
I put Pete on my podcast when he was 18. Is before he did he got SNL, I think, at 20. He did my podcast when he was 18.
Yeah.
And we've been super friends ever since. So
yeah. He's such a nice kid.
No, he's a nice kid. He's a misunderstood kid. And
how's
so both
he
those
doing
guys,
with his depression? He's better?
I mean, every time I see him, he's doing great.
Okay, good.
He's doing great lately, and
that's all. And the baby, he's got a baby, right, on the way?
Coming, yeah.
That's so exciting.
He's got a baby coming on the way, and
I love that.
Yeah. We just laugh, he's just a good dude, man. It's nice to see him doing well.
Yeah.
But we all just super close.
100%. And where's Bill living now? He's not in LA still, is he?
Bill's West Coast, yeah.
He's still LA.
Bill's West Coast guy, yeah.
It's so funny. I feel like everybody's left LA. And then when you hear somebody that still lives in LA, you're like, really?
Yeah.
I thought everybody left.
Some people just stay, I don't hate on LA. I just don't like it to live. I'll go out there for a couple weeks. I think it's fine. I like the weather. I like the food.
Right.
I'm not one of these, so many New Yorkers man, fuck LA. It's bullshit. It's it's not that big. It's not that bad.
Right. I don't want to live there, but.
Yeah. Some people are like, that place sucks. And it's, look, at the end of the day, every day it's 75 plus and sunny.
Yeah.
And the food is good. And it's kind of beautiful surroundings with mountains. So let's not get crazy. I mean, I get the whole show business thing, but some people go too hard with it.
Yeah.
But just because of the dryness and the fires and stuff, that sucks.
Yeah.
And things like that. But I'm more of an East Coast. I like the seasons.
Yeah. No, I know. And that's why. So you're definitely New York all the way. You're going to stay, but you're not in the city. You're a little bit upstate.
Yeah, I'm up in the country,
Yeah.
and then ultimately I want to just get a house like somewhere on the water, somewhere down south.
Yeah.
Always keep my New York place,
Right.
and then have a place down south by the ocean.
And where would you go?
I don't know. I don't know. There's a couple of places that West Palm Beach, maybe get a place. Or,
I love West Palm Beach.
There's, someplace with water.
Yeah, West Palm Beach is great. I do like. It's so funny though how Miami and West Palm Beach are like an hour and 15 minutes away, so pretty close.
Yeah.
But it's like two different planets.
Yeah, Miami's not my scene now. Miami's like, I'm not trying to do blow on a yacht and fucking.
Right.
I mean, it sounds fun.
But hey, if your wife ever wants like a new set of tits, they say.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Blow on a yacht and sushi doesn't sound terrible.
It doesn't sound terrible.
But right now, no, I don't know. I just think I'll tell you one place I would probably move to is Greece. Greece is insane, man.
Oh, I loved it there.
Yeah, I'm Sicilian and Greek, and we went to Greece last summer.
Yeah.
Dude, Greece is.
What's your favorite island?
That's tough. That's tough. We went to Naxos. We went to Paros. We went to. We were in Santorini. Santorini's visually beautiful. Probably wouldn't live there.
Yeah, it's too like up the hills.
Naxos was so peaceful and country.
Oh.
Near the ocean.
Yeah, I know. There's just like a whole nother world out there.
Yeah.
It's just like a whole.
I'm not a city guy. I don't like this shit. I don't like
Yeah.
subways. I don't like cars. I don't like this.
Yeah.
Being out of the city for me is great.
Well,
not even because of I did this. I lived here. I perform here multiple times a night. I get the best of both worlds. I go into a comedy club. I get on stage. I do my thing. I get in my fucking Lexus and I go up to Westchester.
Exactly. You don't have this damn city tax, but you got that congestion toll every year coming in.
I don't look at receipts.
That's true. Right? You're gonna be looking at every damn sandwich. You're gonna go to Subway.
I don't look at shit. Yeah.
I'm going to Dunkin' Donuts tomorrow. See if they do it on my coffee. I'm gonna make a TikTok and be like, I fucking walked here. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Because it's getting out of control. All right. So where can people find you, follow you, listen to your specials, all that good stuff?
So I got a new podcast out right now called Paul's Best Podcast.
Yeah, you guys check it out.
So it's just Will Farrell's company just picked it up along with iHeartRadio. We've had a bunch of guests: Pete Davidson, Bill Burr, Giannis Pappas, Dan Soder. Had Super Bowl champion Willie Colon of the Pittsburgh Steelers on there.
Nice.
Which was cool. So I'm getting all kinds of guests, and they talk about the best of what they like. My guest today was Jason. Salmon, which we talked about the best mustaches in Hollywood and in movies and in just history so that's what the show is. It's super fun. All my specials. I now own my Comedy Central special. I own my Netflix special, and obviously I own my new YouTube special, Reasonable Man. All three are on my new YouTube channel, Paul Virzi. That's Virzi. You can follow me on all the stuff. And when does this come out?
It'll come out soon.
Okay, so go to paulvirzi.com for all of my dates, and check me out at the show. I'm going all over the place.
Yes, you guys, he's very funny. You do not want to miss him. Definitely go check him out. Paul, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
For being here. Yes, thank you.
Hope you enjoyed it.
And thank you to everyone who's listening. We will see you next time to find out who's next. Hey, your host here, Madison Malloy. Please make sure to subscribe to the show on all podcast platforms, and please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. I thank you again for listening. Bye.